I made a post where I shared brief knowledge or experience in my real estate journey. I got some reactions after that post, particularly a client called. We had conversation, a very long one. He asked me a few questions as regards managing his property in the industry. One of the questions he actually asked me was that what happens to his property when I'm no longer working with the company where I'm working recently. Perhaps an opportunity comes and I had to relocate, oversee, or that happens, which is natural. Ask me another question: what happens if the company no longer running the real estate stuff, or something happened to the apex authority? I don't want to put it straight. So here is the answer. The first answer I gave him is that he should invest more. That's the first answer I gave him, that he should invest more. Why did I answer him that way? As a business person, particularly the real estate industry, I believe structure is what makes a system work. In a system where there is structure, the absence or exit of any shouldn't stop or affect the flow of such organization where there is structure. Now, I am actually working with the company doesn't mean I will remain with the company forever. That is just one thing to you should understand, because life is progressive. You never can tell where you will find yourself tomorrow. But even if something happens, I am no more, you should be rest assured that your property is secured. That is the reason whenever you buy a property or you purchase a property from the company, we do what is called documentation. Your paper is handed over to you and physical allocation is done for you to have access to your land, to your property where it's situated. One good thing about having survey plan, which is one of the documents that we actually issue, is this. With that survey plan, a surveyor can actually locate your property where it's situated using the information on that document. It can be tracked. So you don't need me as your portfolio manager to be present before you can actually secure your property. That is just the truth. You don't need me before you can secure your property. All you need to do whenever you are to purchase a property, first ensure that the company you are investing with is a reliable company. It's not an audio company. You know, sometimes you see flying informations online about real estate products or properties available online, and people suddenly pay without making their due diligence. Sometimes people fall victim because they fail to make their due diligence to find out about the company and how genuine they are. I mean, their competence in terms of delivery. So once you make your due diligence and the company is genuine, you have been you've purchased the property, you've paid in full, and you have been given documentation, you have been allocated, you know where your property is situated, you have nothing to worry about. Now you can agree with me that perhaps where you have your house built now, you were not the original owner of that property. Somebody was once in possession of it. It's either the person sold it off or something happened, maybe the person exited, like diseased from the earth, and today you are in possession of that property either as the landlord or thereabouts. I don't know if this makes any sense to you or meaning to you as a person. So when you're investing in real estate, you don't have to be scared. The exit of the realtor or any member of such organization shouldn't and will not in any way affect you having access to your property. That is one thing I want you to understand as an investor. So you shouldn't be scared that, oh, Oliver is working with this company today. If he leaves, I'll start hearing stories and all that. No, those that is not true. That is not true. And one of the things I often do as a realtor is this: when I sell property to people, I try as much as I can to make them locate the office where our company is situated. The reason is this: yes, you trust me as a person, but for the sake of future, do you understand? In case, okay, something happens and you hear that Oliver is no longer within the environment, you can easily identify with the company you are transacting with. And another thing is this: whether you come to the office or not, In the document you have, the company's information or detail is also stated there. So you have nothing to be scared of as an investor when investing in real estate. All you need to do is to make your due diligence to be sure that the estate is genuine and the property is genuine. But one of the things I will advise you to do as an investor is this. When you are purchasing a property from an estate or individual and you had an agreed time to meet up with a payment, like to pay off for a property, it is wise that you actually pay within the stipulated time, because the company itself is running business. Now, let's take, for example, the company gives you 3 months to pay, and after 3 months, you didn't meet up, you didn't communicate with the company, they try reaching out to you, you switch off your phone, nothing, and when they call you, you are harsh on their the customer care and all that. 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, the company keeps waiting for you. Then, when the company adds additional interest on the payments, you begin to flame up. Why would this, why would that? You now forget that the company is also doing business. Now, that land you are paying for, there are people also who needs property in that same location, but because you have committed on it, perhaps there is no more properties left there. The company has placed that location on sold out. Why? Because it is assumed that this person will finish making the payment and then allocation will be done. Perhaps you move into a different location as well. But when you don't meet up, you don't communicate with the company, what do you expect the company to do? Is it for the company to keep the land and keep waiting for you any year you are done making your payments? See, this is one of the reasons people fall victim of scam, or you say real estate scam you, or maybe in business transactions you are being scammed. There is something called communication in business. When you are transacting with an institution or an individual, the place of communication should not be neglected. If you are given a stipulated time, you look at it that you can't meet up due to one reason or the other, it is advisable you reach out to the company and renegotiate. If there is an additional interest that will be added for you or value, it will be added. If otherwise, then you reach agreement with the company to be on the safer side. So there is nothing to lose as long as you make your due diligence and you do things right.